The workshop was created to address the need to help young people understand how the multi-layered city, as a system, influences the lives of its residents and other users. By seeking and presenting arguments for or against a characteristic aspect of the heritage of their city, students gain a better understanding of the impact on their lives as well. This understanding is a direct consequence of specific relationships between layers, uses, and services in the urban environment. Through the exercises of documentation, preparing arguments, and debate, students gain experience in analyzing the city and its heritage, placing it in a broader context in relation to its multi-layered traits, and objectifying a set of personal experiences. City on Trial workshop aims to achieve three main goals: surveying students' perceptions and increasing their knowledge about how a multi-layered city functions, developing negotiation and teamwork skills, critical thinking, assessment of a specific context or environment, and problem-solving development. At the end of the workshop, students will have a better understanding of the benefits and disadvantages of multi-layered urban areas and how the functioning of the city influences the state of its heritage and the lives of its inhabitants. Have a better knowledge of elements that are important for improving the quality of life and ensuring accessibility and the connection between these elements and the components addressed in urban planning and design. Be able to learn about a specific urban context through on-site exploration, online research, and analysis of documentary materials received and found during the workshop. Gain experience in finding information about their city, such as population, services, functions, and the effects of certain decisions. Gain experience in identifying and analyzing the advantages and disadvantages of a specific situation in their multi-layered city, an urban planning initiative, or a specific project implementation based on the information they receive and gather during the workshop with focus on heritage. Improve their teamwork, communication, analysis, argumentation, debate, and deliberation skills. Pay more attention to how the city functions and become more interested in estimating the impact of city development initiatives in multi-layered contexts. Become aware of how restrictive urban spaces can be for certain vulnerable groups and build empathy towards becoming more interested in finding solutions. Be able to compare the claim they defended or accused with other possible claims regarding heritage, make associations, and use the tools gained in the workshop to critically analyze other situations and contexts in their own city or even in other cities. Presenting of the brief, activities, teams, roles and tools, general presentation of the claim the city is on trial for, the steps of the trial. Presentations carried by the lecturer on the topic from which the claim was formulated regarding the context of the heritage the workshop focuses on, and regarding the jury trial structure the role-play will have. The students will be divided into three teams. They can either choose, be assigned by the lecturer, or randomly assigned using any fun method to draw lots. Each team assigns the roles and responsibilities of each member. All teams know the claim and have access to the same support materials that were prepared ahead. Each team will work on a strategy to prepare for the trial. Each team will briefly present the steps they decided to follow in order to prepare for the trial throughout the week between the two classes. Each team can organize their work however they see fit during the week, but it is recommended that they do not communicate with the other teams regarding the workshop for a more authentic experience of the trial roleplay. The second part of this workshop is dedicated to the roleplay of the city on trial. The setup of the class can be as close as possible to a courtroom. The defense and prosecution teams will each sit in their side of the class. The jury should have its own table or area, and in front there should be the judge and also the witness stand. A screen for evidence presenting should be visible to everyone. The class can be prepared ahead or take the first 5 minutes to set the courtroom all together. Ahead, it is more time efficient. The last 20 minutes of the class after the ending of the trial roleplay should remain for conclusions and feedback. The teams are encouraged to offer each other feedback as well. The judge will also be the moderator of the trial and will invite the prosecution and then the defense to make their opening statements. Each team will choose a team member in the roles of prosecutor and defense lawyer to argue in front of the jury and introduce their perspective regarding the claim. After the opening statement, each team will present carefully selected evidence from all the materials that they gathered and documented throughout the week between the first and the second part of the workshop. Here, 1 or 2 team members can present in front of the jury, and it is recommended that they are not the same as the students who represented the prosecution and defense teams for the opening statements. Each team will build the characters for the witnesses they intend to invite to the stand. Both teams will cross-examine each witness. The personification of witnesses can be diverse. Collective witnesses, for example a community living in the area or having business in the area. Expert witnesses, like architects, historians, local administration representatives. Built environment, where the student interpreting the character gives voice to a space or a building or a historic trace. Certain categories of overlooked citizens, for example teenagers or vulnerable categories. The judge is also encouraged to ask questions or demand for more details from the witnesses. Each side will cross-examine each witness. The jury will take notes and make observations in order to help them deliberate. If the context requires, and if the prosecution and/or defense teams feel the need to show some more evidence to try and shift the balance in their favor, after witness deposition, there can be an extra round of presenting evidence. This evidence should be prepared ahead and kept as an ace in the sleeve to be taken out if the situation asks for it. The judge will invite the same prosecutor and defense lawyer who made the opening statements to come in front of the jury and make the closing statements. The closing statements can change the jury's mind, so they should be very well structured and argumented but brief. All the other participants in the trial will have a 15-minute break, and the jury will deliberate and assign a juror to present the verdict. The deliberation should be a debate session moderated by a jury member, followed by a vote. The judge will invite the jury to read the verdict, and afterwards, the judge will give their opinion regarding the verdict and the claim. The judge, the jury, and the teachers will offer feedback to the prosecution and defense teams. The teacher will draw some conclusions regarding the workshop evolution and results. Formulate a very strong claim. The city will be on trial regarding its attitude towards its heritage in a strong multi-layered urban context. Prepare ahead. The students will receive a folder with resources. All 3 teams, defense, prosecution, jury, will have access to the same resources, but each team will then conduct their own research and build their case. Guest judge. Invite a judge outside this class to attend the second part of the City on Trial workshop and moderate the trial roleplay. Offer inspiration. Include some examples of jury trial systems in your presentations that you will give in the first part of the workshop. Give some references from movies and TV series and encourage the students to do their own research. offer feedback at the end of the trial.